The Supreme Court again set for a very busy 2024. Politico with a piece about the 6 ways the court could decide the fate of former President Donald Trump.
Okay, so here are the 6 ways. The conservative majority expected to rule on the following: Trump's eligibility to run under the 14th Amendment, presidential immunity in both criminal and civil cases, a thorough definition to the obstruction law, what Trump can and cannot say, and a shift in the Georgia case from state to federal court.
For more on this, let's welcome in former White House advisor in the Trump White House, Dr. Sebastian Gorka. Dr. Gorka, good morning. Good to see you again, my friend. I'm wondering how much power you think the Supreme Court will have over this presidential election, because they could easily say, hey, Colorado, Maine, you got to stop what you're doing. And that's retroactive to the general election as well. And that would be, sort of putting their hand on the scales. If they don't, they are also putting their hand on the scales as well, though, because that would allow Colorado and Maine and other states to keep Trump off the ballot, theoretically.
Yeah, good morning and Happy New Year. Look, putting the hand on the scales has that kind of a smell to it that you're getting politically involved. Let's be very clear about what the mandate of the constitutional court is, the highest court in the land. The Supreme Court has one job and one job alone. Sorry, Democrats. It's to make sure that a prior judgment at another level comports with the U.S. Constitution or doesn't. If it doesn't, they say you can't do that, and it rescinds it, it jettisons it, whether it's Roe v. Wade or whether it's some unelected lunatic of a Secretary of State saying that you must remove somebody's name from a primary ballot. So, the tipping the scales or putting the hand on the scales is a Democrat talking point. They have to come to one decision and one decision alone. Is what other states have done in our union, our republic, actually comporting with the Constitution or not? That's all they have to do. And really, that's all they're allowed to do, Rob.
Yeah, so as we wait for the Supreme Court to see if they will take on this case in Colorado, the Colorado Secretary of State reacting to Trump's recent petition to the ruling. Take a listen to this.
Donald Trump is trying to argue he did not incite an insurrection. Well, 2 Colorado courts at this point have determined that he did. I don't think that there's some get-out-of-jail-free card for the presidency that allows Donald Trump to escape scrutiny of the laws of the land and the Constitution. So I do think it's important for the United States Supreme Court to act quickly, even if that action is determining that they will not review the case.
So she will certify the candidates today, which means Trump is on the ballot until the Supreme Court acts. So is this the most important case right now for Donald Trump?
Well, look, it's a test bed. It's the beginning of it all. And the fact that she's a Democrat and she's saying, I'm sorry, you can't do this, that's a big deal. But let's be clear what's going on here. Unelected individuals, in this case, a small number of judges in one state, have said what? We get to decide what a private entity, the GOP, puts on its internal presidential nominating ballot. I mean, that is the definition of undemocratic. And let's remember, again, a little history. I like to, as an immigrant, a legal immigrant to the United States, I like to remind my fellow Americans who are born here of American history. What happened back in 1860? The Democrats tried to remove somebody from the ballots as well. Who was that individual? It was, of course, the first Republican president ever, Abraham Lincoln. So there's precedence for this, and it led in that case to a civil war. Are the left, are the Democrats trying to ignite a civil war in America? God preserve us from that ever happening. But this is a direct threat to democracy. Why? The American people should get to choose their nominee for president, and the American people should vote on who they wish to have in the White House on January the 20th, 2025. Not unelected judges, not unelected secretaries of state, the American people.